Christian Music Guys. We are joined by Logan and Amanda Sekulow, the new owners of CCM Magazine, a publication that's been the voice of Christian music for many decades, and it's now entering a brand new era under their leadership. Logan and Amanda, thank you, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
This is a little different. We are graciously at your all studios.
Welcome to your place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, yeah, when you guys said we're coming, and I was like, well, do you have like gear? And you're like, yeah. I was like, well, we could just help
Make
you
it
out.
easier.
Let's make it easy for you.
Yeah, thank you, because we don't have to bring everything down from the trunk right now. That's awesome.
That's
man.
good. I know you guys are slammed this week, so we appreciate you fitting us in.
Yeah. So let's get into the story of CCM. You know, three brothers. Well, our fourth adopted brother over here.
I'm a cousin.
Cousin.
We grew up with CCM, got the magazines. Gosh, I remember getting the magazines and just reading the articles, circling and pretending like I was the artist and like autographing, you know, the pictures and trying to be Stephen Curtis Chapman and things like that. So I've always been a fan of the magazine. And so when you guys took over, I was really excited to see this new era, this new chapter. So what is it like tagging or getting this legendary brand?
It's been an honor, honestly. We've been discussing this for the better part of a year by the time it had actually happened. We were in discussion with Salem, who owned the brand before this and owned the magazine. Went out of print in 2008, 2009, but they kept it online and it was still there and it still existed. But like you guys, we grew up with it. It meant a lot to us. And when Salem seemed to be moving away from music, you know, they sold the Fish stations, they became the K-Love stations. I have an existing relationship with them, so I just sort of floated it out there. I talked to Amanda. It's like, what if we were to get CCM? What would that look like? And, you know, as someone, like you said, as a fan and someone who like advertised in there back 20 years ago, you know, I have a lot of love there. It just felt right. And we had to kind of play the long game for it to happen. But after 9-10 months of really going back and forth with Salem and with them to work out the deal that would be appropriate, we were able to acquire it. And it's really been a remarkable thing to kind of turn the lights back on and to see the growth. And look, you guys, I've been following you guys for years too. So to see that you're still cultivating that fan base has been really fun. I mean, I've been on the show before and kept me connected with what was going on in Christian music, because I had sort of become a little disconnected from it over the last decade or so. And then our kids starting to find, like I said, Forrest and some of these artists, and they were bringing them to us. Mm-hmm. And it was like an awakening of, oh, there's new stuff happening. It's not just about what we grew up with, which will be covered plenty, but we'll also be able to really see the brand new stuff that's really taking this into a whole new era that I'm so excited about. But yeah, it's been the fact that this has been around since 1978, you know, before we were born. The first call I made was to the original guy who founded it, was John Still. And I just want to meet. Let's just hang out. And he came in and met with us, and just to get his original vision and kind of match that up with where we saw this going.
So Amanda, Logan comes to you and he's like, hey, what do you think about getting CCM? Are you thinking like you want to subscribe? Like what is your initial like?
Well, it was through
initial
text
reaction?
message.
Okay.
Firstly, I was literally sitting at coffee with my girlfriends, and just a random Wednesday morning, it just pops up. What would you think about potentially acquiring CCM? And at first I kind of giggled, because we had been throwing out all of these kind of like off the wall ideas of things that we could do creatively together. And CCM is obviously very important to us. We grew up on it too. I still, in memory boxes, have pages I ripped out, you know, with Rebecca St. James and her snake pants and, you know, all these different.
Scandalous.
No, I wanted to be her so bad. I thought if I could just have these pants, I would be cool.
Yeah.
Y'all. It was wild. But so I kind of giggled and just thought, oh, well, that's kind of high in the sky or whatever. That would be cool. But is it even for sale? It was not. And he reached out to Salem and they kind of started the conversation. And we kept feeling very strongly like God was saying, yes. And I mean, we prayed fervently about it. And both of us just knew like this is supposed to be ours. But the timing just never lined up. You know, the deal didn't work out. We kept getting no's, or we just couldn't make their ideas work. And so finally, when it came through with a yes, and we all agreed, That was not the rapture. That was them.
It's supposed to
They
happen today.
they reset the date.
Yeah, they reset it for today actually.
That
So here we are.
store happens occasionally. Everyone thinks we're dying. We're not. Promise. So yeah, it was just a total God thing when it worked out. Everyone had peace about it, and when I tell you the Lord handed it to us, it was a literal handing over of the magazine. So it felt like a pie in the sky idea, and I should never discount that with Logan because that's how all of these things start. But here we are, and we are doing the most fulfilling creative work we've ever done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you were talking about how you grew up with it. There's a lot of nostalgia there with CCM. I remember going with my brothers once a week. We got picked up from school by our aunt, and we would always go to the family Christian bookstore. We would always go through the CCM magazine. But you said it's been out of print since 2008. I think is what you said, right?
2009, depending on kind of when you put it, because they had some like special editions that came out, but for the most part, yeah.
So what's some of your all's vision moving forward, 2025 beyond? Like, what's that look like moving forward to CCM?
The focus will be on digital. The idea that it is CCM Magazine is important to us. But the idea of a physical magazine, I think, is there may be some collectible issues. There may be some options. We're looking at different things. A lot of people say they want it, and I feel like when you actually offer it, they don't want it. It's like an idea of like, oh, I love the idea of holding it. And then you're like, well, it's $15. They're like, oh, I don't know if I love the idea that much. So, I mean, obviously the focus is online, but we also see a spot for CCM Magazine to mean more than magazine, mean more than even news. We actually have specifically said, we're not really news. We're these kind of features. If you look at the content we've put out really in the last, we really relaunched in February, but I'd say we really launched about 3 months ago with our first cover story. And we even reimagined what that meant. That was a week-long celebration of an artist where we dive in really deep on an interview. They perform for, exclusively for us. We do a cool photo shoot with them. We've done that now 3 or 4 times. It's been awesome. But to spend those time of really dedicating our time to seeing not just Christian music too, we'll be expanding. But we see CCM existing as its own kind of network, where there will be branded content. There will be new series, new video series. Our YouTube channel has exploded in the last 6 months. I think it's up 500% new subscribers than the previous year. And I think that doesn't necessarily just say to us that, sure, we did something to do that. I think it's a bit of turning the lights back on and saying the fan base is there. They're excited. Let's give them stuff that looks really good and that they're excited about too. And that has been really fulfilling, as Amanda said. But the future, I mean, we have a lot of future projects planned. It's just spending the time to get them in development and get them ready. I mean, even just the archive. I mean, we have from 1978 till 2009 physicals.
Wow. Yeah.
They're sitting in a room over there. Just to get those digitized is a mountain to do. And people have been like, well, come by and do it. It's like, no, you won't. Like you will for like an hour, then you realize you haven't done one issue yet. And then it's because each issue was pretty significant. But we've already been able to pull from that. We've already been to go, we did an article on PFR, did their Kickstarter, and I was able to go find an article from 2000, 2000, I think, when they were originally talking about the album they're re-releasing. And I was like, that's pretty cool. We can go and find this stuff, and we have this massive amount of content. But it's an undertaking. But we really see, as far as new content, we do these things called CCM Spotlights, which is an individual artist, usually just, some people feel like it's like an inner monologue because you don't see us interviewing them. It's these long form talks, and then they perform typically. And then this cover stories are a bit different too, because you'll see Amanda or I interviewing them and spending real time with these artists. And that's where we're going to balance. I feel like a lot of, like you said, the nostalgia content and the current artists. We're kind of going back and forth each month right now. I mean, we started with Stephen Curtis, then we went to Megan Woods. I mean, you couldn't really go from a more classic artist who's been around this for decades to someone who's pretty much brand new. And then we flipped and we went Third Day. And then we'll see who comes out in November and December. It's not necessarily always going to flip back and forth, but we'll be able to keep our feet in both worlds, respect what came before us, but move forward. So I'm really looking forward to diving in more into the archive. And there's so much, people have reached out with stuff that I never expected. Being like, man, I have this Christian television series that has Larry Norman, whoever it may be, doing acoustic performances, and it never aired. And I didn't know what to do with it. And we're like, we know what to do with it. Yeah. So to me, that's the kind of stuff. It's also this like discovery. And we've created a thing also called the CCM Pop Culture and Oddities Museum. And some of that is a response to the Christian and gospel music, which I love. I went down to their museum, was at the ribbon cutting. They got a nice little CCM display. But we're like, what would they not take? Was sort of the concept.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
Like
Steve Taylor,
Christian culture.
So Steve Taylor gave us a head of his that's like blew off in the middle of a show of a mannequin. So I have that sitting behind me. We have some other cool pieces, a Gerbert puppet.
Oh man, you're bringing up some memories.
Yeah, so we got stuff. That's an exclusive.
Any salty?
Yeah, we'll see. I've reached out to a lot of people who get very strange emails from me right now.
I need the pin that drew McGee and me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Of course.
You need McGee and me.
I do have one McGee and me piece. It's
Come on.
a few cells. Only what I've been told. Only 3 cells ever escaped.
Wow.
And I have one of them.
Wow.
And
Treasure.
Satan Bite the Dust original costumes.
a guy offered me. Okay, so I'll tell you this. A guy offered me he goes, I have the piano from Satan Bite the Dust. And I go, I don't even know. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with that video.
Yeah.
It's like, where is there a piano?
Yeah.
And it's like 3 seconds. It's what the very beginning, like Carmen is like shooting up the place, and all of a sudden it's like bing, and he just like turns around. And I think it was his bus driver who has the piano because he's playing piano in it. He was like, I don't know what to do with it. And I was like, I don't really know if I can. I never say no. But I was like, I don't know where right now we would put it, but we'll figure it out. And I have been in touch with some of Carmen's family because I loved him. Obviously, as we know, we've talked about that. But they do have a great display at the museum for Carmen. I was very happy with that at the official museum. They have his Bible and the champion robe and a few things. And I was like, you know what? Good. I'm glad they honored him there.
It's amazing.
I don't know if that answered your question at all.
Yeah,
I went so
great.
far out.
He actually didn't answer it at all. As far as new content goes, we've kind of approached CCM Magazine in its digital form as kind of creating a network of exclusive content. So the interviews, yes, we're doing all of that. We have some really cool takes on interview shows that hopefully are launching very soon. We've got a couple pilots in the bag, and so that's really cool. We're hoping to maybe do like a weekly update sooner than later. But like I said, all of these things, or like Logan said, really, all of these things in time, they all take minutes out of the day, and it seems like we don't have that many of those. So we're getting there, though.
So I like how you said that you're having a balance of this old nostalgia while also trying to push this new content and digitalize everything that was like past nostalgia. How do you find yourself, like, practically, I guess, not so fanning over this nostalgia because that's what we grew up with, that's what whatever, but also keeping your head up and eyes focused on like future and like pulling the new stuff in?
Our kids really help that a lot. I would say that Amanda definitely is more on the newer side and I'm more on the nostalgia side. So I think there is that. We will be yin and yang in that situation always because she certainly, before we took over, was more listening to what was going on in Christian music right now. And I was honest and said I was a little more disconnected from it until maybe about a year and a half ago. But our kids bring us new music all the time, and they've introduced us. I mean, I probably would have heard Katie Nicole and Megan Woods and all of these people just by osmosis and being around it, but they're coming to us as fans. So, we're fans first in that sense too. So if they're bringing it to us, that's a great way to know what they're interested in. And also I can play them the old stuff and see what still connects. Yeah. Some stuff does, some stuff doesn't, some feels dated, some works. And that's been fun. But I think some of it is also being excited about what's happening. I'm excited when I look at who is nominated for the Doves tomorrow or for the K-Love Awards. And that, because there was a big chunk of time, and now some of them are still around and I love them. A big chunk of time where it was the same people for a long period of time. I've actually had conversations with other people who are in the industry now, which is when I moved here 20 years ago and Amanda moved here, we were like the kids, which was great, but we also were kind of the kids banging on the door and no one was listening. Now we're kind of in charge. And, the head of GMA is our age, and not Jackie, but Justin, who runs the show. And, we both moved here at the same time, so we look at it going like, you're here and I'm here, like we did it, and now a lot of the producers are our age, and a lot of people are. So though the audience that's coming in is 20, the guys now behind the scenes are 40, and we're like, oh, great. But our kids, I think that's the easy answer for that is, and listening, trying to pay attention to what's happening. Amanda's really good at that. Amanda's really good at sending new music, and I may be stuck in 1995, but
have you played in any of the old school Earth suit?
some of it,
Yeah.
see if that could be something that connects with them. I don't know. They're very different. And my children are very, they love pop music. Hip hop stuff is that's a lot. I mean, I've learned that, but I also think we're in a year where, and I'll be banging down this door, and I've told you guys this before. I'll bang down this door. I think we're 15 months away from like guitar driven rock and roll being like back as the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe it. It's happening in mainstream music. It will happen in Christian music. I just got to get people to listen and to agree, because there are people who are in charge who say, Logan, you're crazy. And to them, I say, I'm not crazy. I know what's going on. I'm a little crazy, but yeah.
I think for me, I am the Christian music demographic. I'm a mom who's taxiing my kids around all day, listening to the different radio stations or playlists or whatever. And so, I was definitely in that mindset of when my kids are in the car, we're playing Christian music. And then the Fortnite and YouTube generation hit our household, and Riker, our oldest, started bringing us like Forrest Frank and Connor Price and these guys. And I was like, I've never heard of this. Yeah. This is not playing on K-Love, and slowly but surely he was, and we started to hear more and more of it. And we started to realize like, oh, we are no longer the tastemakers. It is this next generation that's coming up that's deciding what's cool and what's fun. And so that's when I started kind of experimenting and going and trying to find like, who are the new Christian artists, who's coming up right now. Like I personally, I found Strings and Heart and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And I'm like, oh, they're like 14. I think they're older than that now, but they're just these little teenage kids from South California. And you've got like Gracie Binion coming up, with her solo stuff, and it's so unique and interesting. And when I originally found Katie Nicole with her first record, I was just like, this is blowing me out of the water today. 20-year-old is writing songs like this, because we never got songs this deep or interesting from artists that young when we were, coming up in this. And I always kind of had a chip on my shoulder from when we did first come into the Christian music industry when we were young. It felt like the industry kind of ate their young and creative. They'd use them up and then they were gone, and then they'd deconstruct and we'd hear all about it,
on a podcast.
Yeah.
Not this one.
And I have just prayed so desperately that there would become kind of a community or mentorship around these new artists coming up, and I'm seeing it. I'm also seeing the discussions about mental health. I'm also seeing the discussions about, a biblically based community and all these things that didn't happen 20 years ago. And I understand, looking back, why the people who are in the positions that we're in now didn't necessarily trust and couldn't necessarily count on people the same way. So I'm really, really excited to watch this new wave of music come in and everything kind of change in a positive way, and to get to be a little bitty part of it.
Yeah. When it's cool too that y'all have this like backlog of all this old content and nostalgia stuff, so you can literally touch the parent and like touch their hearts and their lives from what they grew up with, and then also at the same hand be like, all right, and then here's some new stuff here that is being pushed in, and then the kids are, so then it's like a whole family thing that is like being able to just grow in who God is in their lives.
I think that's right. And we're seeing things like with Third Day, we just did that 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary of pretty much a lot of the stuff we all grew up on. I mean, your 95 to 99 is kind of like peak for a lot of people. Then you had the 2000s era, and we're hitting those kind of big anniversary years, which means a lot of us are going to have kids that are 10 to 12 to 15 years old, kids that are discovering music. And you think about music in general, rock and roll music is, all of us for the most part, or a lot of us were raised on our parents' music. Whether that was, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and those kind of things, or if you grew up a little bit later in the 80s and whatever it may be. Christian music hasn't really had that. I don't feel like they've had the opportunity to reflect on, it's very short. The window is short unless it's like worship songs.
Right.
And even those, I don't feel like the artists kind of stick around. It's more like the song sticks around forever. So I think that gives us that opportunity that I'm excited about, which is to not only remind people, but to hopefully, like you said, continue that. I mean, look at some of these bands that are playing into their, I'm going to see Paul McCartney in like 2 weeks. He's 83 years old. And I'm just as excited to see that as I was to see Oasis a month ago, who was when I was a kid, and then to who my kids are going to see, which is, Forrest Frank or whoever it may be. It's okay. You can have those multi-generational things.
Yeah.
I don't think Christian music's done a very good job with that. And I mean Christian music, like the corporate side of it, of keeping that stuff alive. It's more like it was out of print, out of the top 40. Well, where's it going to live?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Now let's bring it back. Let's reintroduce people to this. And look, you can turn to Phil Wickham doing Awesome God and those kind of things and going, well, they're pulling from that. The question is, do the people who are listening to that version, do they know Rich Mullins? Do they know where this came from? Or is this brand new to them? Both said, okay, answer. But let's try to remember where this all started.
Yeah.
And
there's classical stations for like rock music, but you don't really have a Christian classical, no,
maybe like an app thing.
Online,
Yeah.
yeah.
a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, I kind of yelled at Caleb. I was like, why am I not hosting K-Love 2000? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I should be. I mean, who else would do it?
We need now that's what I call Christian music or now, like radio station or something. Yeah. Well, and a lot of this, I mean, I'm sure you guys experienced this too, but and this happens more than just in the Christian genre, but a lot of the new artists are bringing back things that were cool when we were growing up. Like the mullet is back. And I'm like, I didn't think that would ever come back. Or like I hear certain sounds in a Forrest Frank song. And I'm like, wait a second, that sounds like it's straight out of, Striper or, some random sound bit that they're pulling from.
Yeah, that vibe, going to that show, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And I texted some of the guys in those bands and I said, this is the closest I've felt to how I felt at the Jesus Freak Tour, with Audio Adrenaline and those kind of bands. That was the closest I felt to that in 30 years, which was a group of kids, mostly between the ages of 9 and 16, and then their parents, but let's say 9 and 16, who are singing unabashedly Christian music.
Yeah.
That this is not, Christian in a band kind of music. This is Christian. This is Big House. This is as Christian music as you could get. And does some of it maybe connect with a kid more than it connect with an adult? But yes, but that's so needed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's been missing, is that bit, which is the entry point to. I talked with me and Michael W. Smith on it, and I said, look, when you released Place in This World, I was like 7. I didn't hear it and was not moved by it. I heard it was like, what is, this is not for me. But Big House was for me, and because I could get that. It clicked. Now I listen to Place in This World and I'm like, a wreck in the corner.
Right, yeah.
Because now I understand it. Now I feel it. But you need to have that entry point for kids. And I think that music is great, you are right. It does feel very reminiscent of it, even if it's not always musical or style, even just in the emotion of the room. It feels that way in that arena where you're like, something's happening. This is very special. And I hope it keeps going.
That's one of the things that I love so much about Toby Mac is I feel like he is one of the only artists who's been able to transcend the times and keep the same key demographic. Teenagers still love going to a Toby Mac show. Kids still love going to a Toby Mac show because the energy is there. The songs are played on the radio. Your mom knows them too. It's a party and it's fun. But he has been so great about bringing up these new artists. And, we're seeing Terrian all over the place right now. And her new song, which Matt Hammett wrote, which I love, is so good. And my daughter was in the car the other day singing it at the top of her lungs. And I was just like, oh, it's working. They're getting it. We're starting to see it's growing. So I just think there are artists who I think do recognize the past and are informed by the past, but continue to re-evolve. And so I just had to say, that was my one interjection.
Yeah, I speaking of new artists and entry points, I was chatting with Bodie earlier today, and he's got that album No Skips.
Yeah.
And I was just sharing my early experiences in Christian music, how I had to have the no skip the anti-skip CD player.
Yes.
And how if my mom, in the minivan, if she hit that speed bump too quick, I'm like, Mom, you need to slow down. My third day album just skipped. And if you could, I go back to those moments as a preteen, with that CD player, wearing those CDs out. What are those moments for you guys when you look back, when you're younger, those moments you go back, I remember this CD, like Third Day's a great example, 30 years, I can remember putting in that Offerings CD in the backseat of the minivan. Are there moments like that for you guys when you think back on Christian music
100%.
that take you back to moments?
I don't remember what year it was. I was probably in the 5th grade, so it was 1996-ish. And it was my first Atlanta Fest.
Come on. I'm from Atlanta. I know what you're talking about.
I got to see Point of Grace and Audio Adrenaline in the same day. And I thought, life cannot get better than this. And it was, keep the candle burning era. Everybody had out their little mini flashlights. They passed out.
Your WWJD bracelet.
And it's Underdog, Audio Adrenaline.
You in the circle of friends with Point of Grace?
Was I in the circle of friends? I'm sure I was.
That's the fan club.
yes,
If it wasn't, it should have been.
It should have been.
Yeah, Circle of Friends.
It
Yeah.
had to have been.
Still is.
If not, missed opportunity. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
So yeah, that era for me, I can sing still to this day every word to Underdog, like straight through the entire album, all the way to Houseplants.
Come on.
Well,
No.
your husband did propose to you at
He did. Oh, fun fact. You knew that. Yeah. So yeah, we love the Audio Adrenaline guys, but that is where it started for me. And that's my core memory.
I mean, I got like a million.
Yeah, we had
Jesus Freak came out on my 10th birthday, so I always like those two. And then Lift came out very similarly on my birthday. I remember going to the store and grabbing those CDs. But I will say, it's kind of a different one. Is to me when sort of the light bulb moment for me was when the Tooth and Nail stuff started happening.
Come on.
And
Let's go.
going into a Christian bookstore and realizing I think probably the first one we got was probably Poking At You from MXPX. But after that was to go and just go to the Christian bookstore, flip it over, and if I had that Tooth and Nail logo,
You're getting it.
I bought it.
Mhm.
And that, we've been talking with Brandon a little bit with Brandon Ebel about celebrating that too, because I think that's that's been a little forgotten as well. Like if you go to the Christian Music Museum, as much as I love it, it's great. You should go see it. There's nothing about that in it. They did the Jesus music documentary, nothing about that. And that was such an impactful moment.
Yeah.
And sure, some of those bands may not be where you wish they were right now. And I hate that. I really do hate it. Like it breaks my heart. But those albums meant so much to me. And yeah, so to me, that's a big one. And honestly, another one is if kind of more like Amanda's. I was at Rock the Universe in 2001. It was 2001. And August of 2001. And Relient K played, and they played pretty much most of Anatomy, which had not come out yet. And it was coming out the next week, and they already had it at the merch stand. So we all bought it, and it was like, this was our band.
Dude.
And that was our band for so long.
I love that. I think Showbread might have been a Tooth and Nail band. And I have a friend who is saved today because of a Showbread concert. So I think people looked at it, and it was kind of packaged different for the hardcore kids. But there is still, and like you said, some of the stories now are unfortunate, but there's still fruit, like some of us made it. Some of us are still here, because of those types of outlets. And did you have a favorite band on Tooth and Nail?
I was a big MXPX fan.
Come on.
And then in terms of just that era, I also, I love the Supertones, and then, not on Tooth and Nail, but in the area of Five Iron and those bands. They were all our bands. What was great is also those bands came to town 5 times a year. I mean, they came every other month. They were playing at a dirty club with a bunch of teenagers.
Right.
And there was something about that too that was so accessible, unlike what was going on maybe in the Third Days and Audio Adrenalines, who I knew them and I loved them, but they were larger than life arena bands.
Right.
This was playing in what felt like a basement.
They're jumping on you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. They became what felt like your friends and family.
Yeah.
You wanted to champion them.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been talking to when we talk to a new artist. I go, if we want to get behind you, I say that word, we want to champion you to be this next thing, and kind of don't let us down. And there's a lot of pressure. But to your point, there's an interesting interview we did with Chris Dudley from Under Oath a few months ago that's worth a watch if you're a Christian music fan and you've kind of been like, well, they went completely the other way. There's a lot of language. But Dudley's still a believer, and he feels like he's called to be in that band for a reason.
Yeah.
And he's a really interesting story. And they were here 2 days ago playing with I don't even know who they were opening for. It was like Papa Roach or something, and he still feels like he's there for a reason. And there's those stories too, where it's like it's not always 100%, but it's unfortunate. But I do think you're right. It played that's such a big part of the story that I feel like gets forgotten.
Yeah. Did you somehow when I was a teenager, I would get their sampler CDs in the mail where they would just do the.
Of course.
I loved those, and it's funny. I actually created on my Spotify a playlist of all those songs in the order they were on the demo discs I would get, and my kids would be like, "Oh, what is this playlist?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's different bands, and it's in the order that it was on the CD that I got in the mail, and I still listen to it."
In like the CCM Magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd get them. If you went to a show, sometimes they would have them out, and be like, so and so gave us these, and I had stacks of them from going to shows as a fellow recovering scene
450, do y'all
emo
remember
kid.
Let's go. Let's go. I knew you guys were my people.
Squad
You know,
Photo.
we're small, but we're mighty. The scene kids.
Well, like you, I grew up in Atlanta, so Squad was also incredibly accessible.
Yeah.
And I'm friendly with them a little bit now. If you watch their documentary, I do this in it. I don't lie. They cut my entire interview. They interviewed me for it. My brother says 3 words. I just go. So I've said I'm the nodding guy. I'm credited.
There you go.
But no, I loved them. I was a huge fan, and was a huge fan throughout their run. Like I think they had. I love the early punk ska stuff, and then the later kind of glammy stuff was still fun too. Like one of the few cornerstones I went to, they headlined, or maybe they didn't headline, but they
Did not have
they didn't have, but they played main stage, and Silly sprang the crowd and sang Gloria, and it was awesome.
And we can't forget one of the heaviest tooth and nail artists, Jeremy Camp.
Oh yeah, I forget that.
Isn't that it always
Wait,
throws you
what?
off? Yeah, he was signed to Tooth
He
and Nail.
was.
I never knew that.
It was the most like I
Yeah.
remember being like, what in the world?
Was it just for the first album, I think?
Something like that. Yeah, but
Tasha Layton in here yesterday. She's on BEC, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think about that.
yeah, I don't know how they landed on
Trivia
Jeremy Camp.
question one day.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
I
Yeah.
heard Bill Gaither was on Tooth and Nail.
Yeah, little cover 7 ball.
Well, we want to play a little game with you guys, CCM game, and no hard feelings for any of the artists out there, but we just want you to pick which artist you'd rather have on your playlist. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And you all might disagree too. That's
Yeah,
Oh, we definitely
there's
would.
another podcast for that. Okay, like we
There's a
listen to
big
that one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
First one is Stephen Curtis or Michael W.
Stephen Curtis.
Yeah. Oh man, this is so hard.
Who do
Here's
you
the-
want on the cover next? No.
Well, we already had Steven, so Michael. He's got a new album coming out. I love them both.
And
But
then-
I will go Michael now. I think the new music he's
The
doing
new
is very
stuff
cool.
is-
It's very cool.
I say Stephen Curtis because of Dive.
Okay.
Forever in my heart.
That intro.
Don't
Oh.
sink, just swim.
I still have motions memorized.
Yeah.
At any time, I can pull them out.
Do you have the Forrest Frank motions down?
No.
No.
I have the force.
Yeah.
Dive. I'm just going to do another sidebar. Go watch the interview with him because he ruined it for me. Because he's like, it's just Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. And I was like, what? He's like, if you listen to it, it's just, he goes, I love Tub Thumping. And I was like, what can we do that's like it? Now you listen to it and you're like, oh, dang it,
all
Steven.
I
You
Yeah.
But brilliant. All right.
Let's go a little further back. You got Carmen or Rich Mullins?
Oh, I don't even. Dude, Carmen is my hero. So I have
I
no.
knew Logan was
And
gonna say
I know Rich. I mean, the music. I mean, it's hard to fight the music of Rich Mullins, but no, Carmen #1.
Okay, I'm gonna agree on Carmen, but I do love Rich. My entire like Baptist upbringing is kind of revolting inside me right now.
And we also knew Carmen, so I think that's kind of hard.
Okay,
Hard
yeah.
to be like,
All right. Is Amy Grant or Rebecca St. James?
Oh, easy.
I think we're probably gonna have the same answer for this one. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
It's Rebecca St. James. It's the pants.
I think I have to go Rebecca St. James, not because of the pants.
And
The
I
pants.
think that was more
I'm
our
wearing
era.
them today.
I think it was more our era of music. I think Amy is incredible, and she's
she just had the leopard jacket.
No, I'm just saying she went cool. My mom, look, that Christmas record, we wore that Christmas record out. But maybe I would say, like, my mom would be very upset with me right now to pick this, but I got to go Rebecca.
I love it. We'll stick with our rock and roll roots. One of these bands, I won't tell you which one, played the local skating ring in the suburb of Atlanta that I'm from. But Switchfoot or Skillet?
Oh, okay. This isn't really fair, because I have a deep love and respect for both bands. But I have been a panhead since I could remember music.
The fact that I know what that means
and if you
means
know
I am one too.
That means you would probably pick Switchfoot.
Right. I love Switchfoot. I love them so much. But Skillet, because genuinely my first favorite band, I think.
I love it.
And I'll go with Switchfoot just because I think I'll mix it up here. I love those first few records though too. So we'll go old Legend of Chin.
Wow. So before Beautiful
they became cool.
Yeah.
When they were kind of not good.
Come on.
When they were live and kind of mediocre live. That's what I liked.
I mean, but Dare You to Move still, it takes you there.
It's there. Yeah, a couple of albums.
It's all the feels.
One of the coolest things I ever went to was a Switchfoot show in a Best Buy in San Antonio. They did like an acoustic set at a Best Buy, and it was the most random thing. I just happened to be at Best Buy.
Oh, you weren't even going?
No, it was like
because I went to one of those, but I was there.
It was the most random thing, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" But it was really cool. We got to meet them and hang out. It was really fun. Yeah.
Jars of Clay or Audio A.
It's not even. I mean, you don't even have to. Why would you even ask?
That shouldn't even be on there.
You like Flood.
I mean,
come on.
I mean, look, no disrespect to them, but I mean, it would be sacrilegious if we didn't both pick Audio Adrenaline. I won't even let her speak.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to let that. That will be a problem. No. Is that it?
Toby Mac, Kirk Franklin.
Kirk Franklin.
Okay.
He makes me want to stomp.
Toby for sure. For sure. I was not cool as Amanda was, and Kirk Franklin was not really on my radar, but Toby was, king. Still is.
Let's go. We can go a couple more. Let's do For King and Country or We the Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Did you just search king in your
Didn't.
The keyword is king. I'm going to go with For King and Country. And I think only based on performance level, because I like both bands. I think lyrically and melodically, they're both great. But if you go to a For King and Country show, it is always impressive.
It is.
Sure. I'll go with them too. I'll go with For King and Country. I like both of them just fine, equally, probably musically, but I love what the brothers have been doing, and I love what they're doing beyond music. So with the movie and everything, like they're kind of really trailblazing. So I love what they're doing.
We'll do one more. This might be the creme de la creme. I mean, I know who I would pick, but this is a hot take. Third Day or Mercy Me?
Oh, I think.
And why is it Third Day?
I think we're going to be at the same. Yeah, it's Third Day. I mean, I think there's no way.
So humble brag, Mac Powell sang to me like 2 weeks ago. Or a week ago. No. When the Rain Comes. And if you think I did not cry, you would be wrong. I wept like a baby. It was beautiful, and it was just for me. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, good on the Mercy Me guys. I think that's a bit generational. Like I think Third Day was more our fandom years, and then Mercy Me came like a little bit later when it came to be like I can only imagine was like for adults, and we were not quite adults, but we were not old. It was like that weird break. I really respect them. I really appreciate the music, but man, those Third Day, I just love them, and I can't. Wait.
Okay, I still pick Third Day, but it has to be said, I Can Only Imagine was not like too old for us. That was like the most life-changing song of Christian music, still to this day.
I think it was like every Christian private school's graduation song.
100%.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It was it was getting played on hit radio beyond Christian music. Like it transcended. So I think you got to give them major credit for that. Very few Christian artists, especially at that time, ever had that kind of clout.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, big fan. And hey, our kids may show up in I Can Only Imagine too, so you never know.
There you go.
They're getting a sequel?
Yeah.
Let's go. I think I knew that actually.
Yeah, it comes out in the winter, I think.
We
February.
need a Third Day movie. I don't know. What song? Bonus question. Third Day made a movie. What song? I'm going to go Thief. That'd be such a cool movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Bible, but, you know.
Alien. I mean,
that's not Third Day.
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
That's Skillet.
No, it's
You're thinking Alien You.
Alien You.
You. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Great.
Does anyone else remember Hero the Rock Opera?
Oh yeah.
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 With yeah.
She just fell out.
We'll move on to the next segment.
Mark Stewart.
Yes, we remember that. Yeah, remember that. Absolutely.
That's my T-Bone. That's what T-Bone does.
I'm turning red now because yeah.
We all do that around here. There's a few of us that T-Bone just out of nowhere. We go, oh, chicken, bacon, wiggin, chicken. That's what he does. That's his. I know. Well, that's
Are you Pentecostal?
Hidden talents.
I love Logan's reaction.
Well, how can our viewers and listeners keep up with you guys? What's going on next with CCM? What can we keep up with?
Whiteboard, but I'm not going to say them right now because I don't even know if that was like something that was just like.
I think those are our kids coming up with ideas. I don't know if it's real. The website, ccmmagazine.com. On social. Instagram is probably our biggest one, and YouTube. YouTube is like, we're really wanting to grow. Like I said, we went from 20 or 30,000 subscribers when we took over to now we're cresting on 80. So our goal is to really see that build because we think there's a lot to be done there. But it's all on the website. It's all on ccmmagazine.com, and we're excited for the future. And I think there's a lot of places we can go. A lot of places
Cruises?
we will. What'd you say?
Cruises?
Cruises.
I think we need a CCM cruise.
Oh my gosh. that'd be killer.
Talks.
I'm gonna write that on the marker board.
As soon as we announced, it was like a
I
nonstop.
bombarded you.
No, you did, but I know you. We've had talks about nostalgia nights, cruises, events, monthly events, that kind of thing. And I think that there's going to be a place for it. Where that ends up, whether that's here in Nashville, whether that's somewhere else, we'll see. But we're also not wanting to jump too far. We're still in that.
Yeah.
We're still in that process of really rebuilding.
Yeah.
And that's why I even told you when we've been talking about this for 7 months. It's like, at least wait till we get the new logo, because I knew that new logo was coming. I was like, just wait till we have the new logo. And that's why, like right now, it feels like the last 2 or 3 months is really when we've started. So we're kind of baby steps into this.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what I would say next year, but also the following year looks like. Yeah.
Well, take your time. Do well. You got a ton of fans cheering you guys on. I know all of our listeners are going to be with you guys. And as long as you make it happen before these events start having to happen at nursing homes, we're good. Okay?
That's the
So
goal.
take your time. But
That's the goal. No, we truly just believe that God put us in this place, and we're doing everything we can to make everything good, high quality, not only to show each artist in a favorable way, but also to glorify God in what we do. So that's the goal.
And if you need any MCs at the cruises, Christian music guys, I'm just saying.
You're hired.
man,
Get us a boat.
Yeah. Build a boat. Where
Build a boat. Yeah.
Where's Colton?
Yeah. To quote, does he have a build a boat cruise?
No, he has a build a boat song.
No, I'm saying, but does he do a build a boat?
Oh.
that's a missed opportunity.
You know what?
He's got to be doing
Or
it.
like a department store, like Build a Bear. Like it's Build a Boat. Come on, Colton.
Or he at least needs to go to the Ark encounter and like have a tour there or something.
Something. I mean, no, I know the song. I don't want to be like, but I feel like, if they don't have the cruise, it's like Train has Sail Across the Sun. It's like they all have their, Kid Rock has like, I don't know, something. I forget what it is now, chilling and grooving, but
Yeah.
come up with something.
Well, Logan and Amanda, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. I'm really grateful for what you're doing.
No, we love what you
Keeping
guys are doing
CCM
too.
going.
You've been leading the way for many years now, so we're blessed to even be a part of this podcast and to call you guys friends. So whatever we can do to help and vice versa, we'd love to. And welcome to Nashville. Enjoy your rest of your trip.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you guys are always welcome to our studio. It's my basement, but
It's fine.
you're always welcome. It's fine.
I love a good basement.
There we go.
It's creepy ending.
Oh, that sounds interesting.